On the news this morning, President Muhammadu Buhari flags off NLNG Train 7 project in Bonny. House of Representatives screen Chief of Army Staff. Governor Nyesom Wike calls out President Muhammadu Buhari over insecurity. Students of River State College of Health Sciences protest hike in school fees, lack of water, power supply. On the foreign scene, Israel resumes strikes in Gaza. I am Ifiemi Andrew. President Muhammadu Buhari has flagged off the NLNG Train 7 project. The president, at a virtual groundbreaking ceremony of the project in Bonny Island, urged the board of directors, management and staff of NLNG, the host communities, the River State government and other agencies of the federal government to continue to collaborate and ensure the completion and eventual commissioning of the Train 7 project is safe and on time.
This groundbreaking ceremony to herald the Train 7 project construction affords me the opportunity to congratulate Nigerian LNG and its shareholders, NNPC, Shell, Total, and ENI for proving that a Nigerian company can operate a world-class business. Clearly, we have set the stage upon which Nigeria's vast gas resources will continue to grow well into the future.
The people of Finima community in Bonny local government area say they are not part of any further discussion or negotiation with the Nigeria Liquefied Natural Gas NLNG over their host community status till further notice. They made this known during a prayers section held at Finima Stadium yesterday to seek the face of God over their situation. A stakeholder from the community, Dagogo Brown, who addressed newsmen shortly after the prayer session, said they put on hold any negotiation because the management of NLNG has failed to obey the Nigeria Oil and Gas Industry Content Act that gave birth to the Community Content Guideline in 2010. Dr. Brown said the company has been playing politics with the issues of recognizing them as a host community.
As a result of the double role that NLNG is playing now, we have decided to sever relationship with NLNG till further notice. How our natural inheritance will be taken away by our neighborhood. Continue to engage organization, government agencies and prosecutors to make sure that we are accorded what belongs to us according to the law. You cannot engage a tenant and the tenant will be paying rent to another person. Finima people gave land to NLNG and so they deserve the right to be called host community.
Another stakeholder from the community, Dr. Ibiango Brown, said the NLNG company is conniving with the people of Bonny. In connivance with the people of Bonny has marginalized them for years.
The land that LNG is situated was given out by the Finima people, and it is our own exclusive right to demand for our rights from whoever that we have given our land, because the title of landlord belongs to us. Yes. We therefore crave the indulgence of the public to please discountenance any other spurious publications, folk stories about Finima land. All the multinational and allied industries are located on Finima land, and therefore the land is owned by Finima, no other person. Thank you.
Last week, the people of Finima had staged a peaceful protest at the industrial area of NLNG main gate over the alleged marginalization of their host community status before some youths attacked them and disrupted it. Meanwhile, the General Manager, External Relations and Sustainable Development, Ayono Fatayi Williams, had in a reaction to the protest said NLNG, as a good corporate organization, applies the principle of fairness and inclusiveness in engaging with the stakeholders in the Bonny Kingdom. Governor Nyesom Wike has challenged President Muhammadu Buhari over the insecurity plaguing the nation. At the commissioning of Akboko Umoye Odufo Road on Tuesday, the governor said the president commands the armed forces and cannot only be in charge when it comes to borrowing.
You have said the security issues is left in the state. How about our president? Not be so. The constitution didn't say that. Who is the commander-in-chief? Are we the governor that commander-in-chief? We are not commander-in-chief. Mr. President, you are the commander-in-chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. You appoint IG. You appoint Chief of Army Staff. You appoint Chief of Naval Staff. You appoint Director Which one do we appoint? CP, I don't appoint. Director here, no be me. Commander here, no be me. Which one again you say they are under me? Allow us now to pick who will be CP for ourselves, to pick who will be in charge of SSL. Then you will see whether it will be the same thing.
He also took a swipe at APC's Ogbonna Uke.
I have to say this clearly. I want those your sons who are always on social media. Are they still alive? Are they still alive? Ogbonna Uke, is he alive? Is he not alive again? Is he not seeing this road? 21 kilometers, is he not seeing it? When he was in government, did he do 21 kilometer road? Or Mende 21 kilometer road? Even the one they gave you from Chobocho, Tozo, you know, I have told everybody, wherever you come from, government or politics is what impact, positive impact, am I going to make for my people?
He charged those in office to serve well wherever they find themselves.
If this commissioner you have, this Ifiemi, what's that man's name? No. Ambrose Wuzi. No man, that one, not him. Ambrose, all one of Yesu. All of them, my special advisors, all of them. They cannot bring anything to people. Then shame. But look at this now.
The River State House of Assembly complex has reopened following the suspension of its solidarity strike last week. Our correspondent who visited the Assembly complex on Tuesday reports that parliamentary workers were on duty. Judiciary staff are also back to work as courts opened nationwide yesterday. Lawyers in River State have been advised to get the right mentorship for efficient dispensation of justice. Aham A.K. Ejelam gave this advice during the presentation of the autobiography of late Sir Granville Isetima Abibo, titled My Blessed Life, and one-year memorial lecture in Port Harcourt. He described the death of Sir Granville as a massive loss to the NBA.
The committee actually was constituted by late Abibo himself in January 2020 to plan for his 60th birthday, which I keep telling the younger ones that it is good for you to start from the bottom to the top. Instead of top, you fall down to the bottom. That if you are patient and learn the ropes, there is just no way you won't be comfortable. It comes with age, like wine. They shouldn't be in a hurry. Get the appropriate mentorship. At that one time, it's not when you see someone who has spent 30 years at the bar and he has houses, he has SUVs and all that, you just think that that is the way it is. No.
Delivering his lecture titled Imperatives for Speedy and Efficient Dispensation of Justice Within the Broader Framework of the Rule of Law in Nigeria, an appraisal of the concept of front-loading of evidence, guest lecturer Sir Biobele George Will, who was represented by Professor Ibibia Lucky Weka, Dean, Faculty of Law, University of Port Harcourt, said good governance means nobody should be above the law.
That justice, quotation marks open now, is not a one-way traffic. It is not for the appellant only. Justice is not even a two-way traffic. It is really a three-way traffic. In the precepts of the rule of law, all are equal before the law, and the law is no respecter of any person. The Constitution is supreme, the ground norm from which all other laws in the land basically derive their validity and lawful existence. That none whosoever is exempted from the observance of the laws of the land.
Professor Warika also called for an increase in the composition of members of the appellate court.
I strongly believe the time has come for the consideration of increase in the composition of membership of the appellate courts, namely the Supreme Court and the Court of Appeal, that whilst the number of justices in the Court of Appeal be increased to 150 justices on equal representation of 4 justices per state of the Federation, including the FCT, the number of justices of the Supreme Court be increased to 37 justices on equal representation of 1 justice per state of the Federation.
Our correspondent reports that the wife of the late San, Lady Granville Isetima Abibo, promised to give prizes to best law graduating students from the State University from the Granville Foundation. Still ahead, students of River State College of Health Sciences protest lack of water and poor power supply. Stay tuned. Some students of the University of Port Harcourt are accusing policemen dressed like the disbanded SARS officers of constant harassment in Alakaya near the university. Some of them told our correspondent that these policemen break into their student lodges, arrest them and collect their laptops and phones.
There's a time they actually came here with Uniport shuttle and they stood here and they were taking boys from the road. That Treasure Villa, they broke into the houses there and started harassing boys, checking their phones and the rest. We thought it's going to end for real, but it's back again, like they are back and they are harassing very much.
It's threatening to young boys. When you see them, even if you don't have anything on you, you will be forced to find a way out of that place, because definitely they might just dig at a debt from nowhere. These days, having a crypto wallet can get arrested because of that.
It's very, very painful because they are actually tampering with our rights and our freedom. What they are doing right now is they are coming to lodges, barging into people's room and all that. I would really appreciate if the government can really look into this and do something about it.
The River State Police Command is yet to speak on this. Students of the River State College of Health Sciences have protested on the Queer Road axis of Port Harcourt over lack of water and power supply. Two students who spoke to our correspondent said the school environment is no longer conducive for learning. They accused the River State government of neglecting their school. They also accused the management of asking students to pay for accreditation.
The reason for this protest is, one, we don't have light for over weeks now in our college. Also, we don't have boreholes where we can get water from Tibet. Also, we lack accreditations in this school. It has expired, and we want them to, accredit programs so that we can be comfortable while studying programs. And also, we also want classes. We have limited classes, more departments, which is not normal.
If we want to power our phone, we have to go out, and it's dangerous for women going out there to charge their phone. We don't have water, the toilets are dirty, no lights to read, nothing. So we need accreditation, we need things, no professional lecturers to lecture us.
If it rains now, the only thing we have is the grace of God for the water not entering inside the hostels.
Our correspondent reports that classes did not hold in the school yesterday. However, the provost of the River State College of Health Sciences, Franklin Nlerum, said the protest is not the best way to address the problem.
That gen has been giving us problems. Of course, it's an old gen, it has been giving us problems, and it's gone to the point where I think that gen should be changed, and we don't have that kind of resources to be able to change that gen right now. Usually what we do is to pump water for them with a smaller gen. Ideally, it was a long weekend, and we just resumed work today, and I thought that what they would have done is to bring all that matter together, and then management will put itself together to see how that problem will be solved. But that I didn't see. The only thing I saw is the protests which they are doing on the road.
On the issue of collecting money from students for accreditation, Professor Nlerum said the state government is doing something about it.
Accreditation is not an internal thing, but even we have tried using internally generated revenue to do some of our accreditation. The few ones were able to handle. But we have a bigger case now because many of the programs now need accreditation. And like as a tertiary institution, accreditation is normally the government supported activity for tertiary institutions. So I made our views known to the government, and government is doing something about it.
Professor Nlerum also denied an increase in school fees.
We are paying among the least school fees in the state. The college spend about 55% or more of its internal generated revenue to hire part-time lecturers and temporary staff that are helping us to teach the students in order to meet up the requirement of our regulatory bodies. To maintain the hostel, to maintain the sanitation requirement of the college, cut the graphics and take care of all others and pay electricity and require quite a lot.
A former commissioner for agriculture, Ima Chinda, has criticized Governor Yesu for failing to focus on educational development. He spoke in reaction to the students at River State College of Health.
I want to ask and urge the governor to look at education properly. We cannot provide water even for higher institutions. Governance is not all about brick and mortar. It's about looking at what you can do comprehensively. So if we cannot give water to our children who are in school, then what kind of governance and what kind of foundation are we laying for tomorrow? So I think that he should reassess what he is doing and take some of the money that he's using to hire television stations and then put them in the area of education. Our people will be happier for it.
Mr. Chinda also accused Governor Nyesom Wike of spending taxpayers' money to organize flag-off and commissioning ceremonies.
If Amechi had done groundbreaking for all the primary schools that he built in Rivers State, what it means is that we would have used 1 year to do groundbreaking of primary schools alone. If we had hired every now and then television stations at very serious costs like this to do commissioning of all these projects, it means that even 5 years would not have been enough to do the groundbreaking and commissioning ceremonies of Amechi's project. So I think that a time has come when we need to advise the governor that he now has to try to sincerely concentrate on the administration of the state.
Away from that, Rivers State Ministry of Works has announced the closure of parts of Ada George Road by Iwofe Junction. A statement signed by the Permanent Secretary at Bere Emenike said the road will be closed completely to traffic from 8 a.m. on Thursday to enable Julius Berger begin the construction of the Rumaprekon flyover. The House of Representatives Joint Committee on Army and Defense has screened Chief of Army Staff Major General Farouk Yahaya. The screening took place on Tuesday behind closed doors. Recall that President Buhari appointed Yahaya as the new Chief of Army Staff on May 27. In business, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo test drove an electric car assembled in Nigeria yesterday during an exhibition tour of Made in Nigeria products at the opening ceremony of a 5-day Nigeria at 60 Expo at the Eagle Square in Abuja. At the event, which is organized by the Inter-Ministerial Committee on Nigeria at 60 in collaboration with Business Visa and Training Co. Limited, Osinbajo expressed excitement at the innovation and said he was hopeful of a bright future for Nigeria. Nigeria's headline inflation dropped for the second consecutive month in May, but food prices have continued to surge. Latest data published by the National Bureau of Statistics on Tuesday indicates that the Consumer Price Index, which measures inflation, increased by 17.93% year-on-year in May, as 0.19% lower than the 18.12% recorded in April. Director of the Nigerian Broadcasting Commission, Henry Asagba, says genuine investment schemes are expected to get clearance from the Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) and the Securities and Exchange Commission (SEC) before advertising their schemes. Mr. Asagba made this known shortly after paying a courtesy call on the management of Cool FM, Wazobia FM, and Nigeria Info FM in Port Harcourt.
We have so many of them that are not really genuine, and we have to protect innocent people who are easily hoodwinked to partake in these investment schemes, and after a while they start getting duped and all that. So that we do have meetings with CBN and Securities and Exchange Commission to check on these things, whereby the authentic investment schemes are expected to get a clearance from the CBN and Securities and Exchange Commission in order to be able to come on air and say whatever they have to say.
And now we'll bring you news from around the world.
Israel says it has launched airstrikes against Hamas targets in the Gaza Strip in retaliation for incendiary balloons fired from the territory. The Israeli Fire Service said several balloons were sent from Gaza into Israel earlier on Tuesday, causing multiple fires. It is the first major flare-up since 11 days of fighting between the two sides ended in a ceasefire on 21st of May. On the news this morning, you heard that President Muhammadu Buhari has flagged off NLNG Train 7 project in Bonny, Rivers State. House of Representatives has screened the Chief of Army Staff. Governor Nyesom Wike has called out President Muhammadu Buhari over insecurity. Students of Rivers State College of Health Sciences have protested hike in school fees, lack of water, and poor power supply. On the foreign scene, you heard that Israel has resumed strikes in Gaza. The news was edited by Enoho Ogbeviri. Contact our newsroom on 0818-900-0017. My name is Ifiemi Andrew. Light rains expected in Port Harcourt this morning. Thank you for listening, and once again, good morning.